Hello, and welcome to Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on episode 10 of Roshidere, or Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So last we left off, there was a bit of hypnosis, which turned out to be rather entertaining, albeit it didn't really lead anywhere. So I guess unfortunately now we are restricted to boring school stuff like homework and studying and, probably more political debates. Oh, yeah, no. Exams start tomorrow. That's how you know things are serious. And Kuze is ignoring anime to study, which I feel like is morally a mistake, Sometimes you do gotta take a break. It's interesting that he's bemoaning how much of a poor student he is. And I guess this is getting into backstory stuff, like he used to put his nose right to the grindstone, but, it's not always a good way to live, Like, it is good to work and to put effort into work. However, what is life if it's only work? So it's interesting that Alia would call him so seemingly late at night. And I guess the question is she suffering from the same sort of thing? Fatigue from study and all that. I mean, she's professing to have just called him for no real reason. You don't call someone this late at night for nothing. So I guess the question is, what is her reason? Obviously she's not going to be straightforward about it, but she seems to be concocting this excuse where it's like, ooh, I want to keep you motivated and on task studying, but, I would feel like a big distracting phone call is kind of counterproductive towards that end. So I guess it's interesting that she's never really had this issue of losing focus, which, maybe some people don't. So the question is, she's making a wager, which is interesting. She's offering essentially like one get-out-of-jail-free card for anything, which, it's, narratively, it's interesting to put something like this on the table, but I feel like in most cases that I've seen it, it's never really satisfactorily explored, I guess. Man, even to this day, he's still lying about being able to understand Russian. I feel like at some point you really do have to rip the band-aid off, and that time was around episode 4, I believe. I feel like, well, I guess it is ostensibly the main premise, even though it isn't really used to its fullest degree either. Oh. Oh, I think Kuze's revealing a little bit of forbidden knowledge here. He knows when Alia's birthday is, and judging on whether or not he remembers she's a childhood friend, he may or may not necessarily should remember that, you know? I mean, as evidenced by her saying, like, how do you know that? Which, you know, it's something you might drop in casual conversation, but even so. Ah, of course. Imagine watching something scary late at night knowing that it will scare you, so you're forced to call someone. Now, I guess that is interesting in that he's effectively spending his birthday alone because he didn't really share when it was. And I feel like that's not entirely uncommon, but I guess it's nice that she's kind of upset or concerned about it. Of course, the salient point is, what is she gonna do about it? You know, that's where things get interesting if she were to do something to acknowledge his birthday, rather than just be kind of sad about it in private. I mean, he knows. He knows something's up because she's not doing much of anything, but honestly, I feel like this is sort of incumbent upon her to do something. She's the one with the problem, and, you know, just because you don't know it's somebody's birthday because they didn't tell you, it's not a bad thing, you know? Now, you know what? That would be an interesting episode, I guess, where Alia plans a surprise party for Kuze because she missed his birthday. Doing it like a week later or something. That would be nice, where she has to enlist all of the other characters, but, something tells me that isn't what we're getting. Okay, at least she's getting to the root of the matter with birthdays and all that, but she's assuming he had a party, which he didn't. Okay, you know what? If she does throw a secret surprise party or something, that would be nice. I hope that's where this episode goes. So it's just sort of like a cultural misconception, too, that, you know, people don't always have birthday parties. Man, just like that, the shoe's on the other foot. You know, she was mad at him for not inviting her, but now he's saying like, oh boy, you wanted to be invited, didn't you? So I guess the question is he just gonna keep beating around the bush and being smug, or is he actually gonna do something? There we go. You know, a nice little proposal. We should celebrate it together. So that's something. You know, he is throwing a belated party for himself, which is nice. However, I think it would be nicer if she planned a party. You know, I can see why that isn't the case, seeing as how she thought he had one, but I guess with the knowledge that he didn't have a party, she could have, you know, secretly plotted or something, but oh well. Wow, you know, it is really telling that everybody's sort of turning their heads to look as Alia walks past. Granted, that is a rather, I don't know. I don't want to say flamboyant, but it's definitely, not something you would usually see being worn. I guess it is a pretty cute outfit, too. Wow. Ignore all the people staring, that's the price I pay for being beautiful? Whoa, buddy. That's a real conceited thing to say. I mean, I guess it is undoubtedly true, but even so, like, man. Alright, so, yeah, they're just sort of flirting with each other in the most mild way imaginable. You know, I feel like we're on the cusp of getting somewhere, but nobody's actually doing anything. The idea here is that this could be a date, but, only now after they're walking down the street does the idea even come up. Like, honestly, why don't you just, go for it? Go for the gold. You don't have to reveal you speak Russian, but you can take advantage of the fact that you do and just say, hey, let's make this a date, Just play it off like you happen to be really good at guessing things. Yeah, just because you're having a first date, it doesn't have to be your first time at a restaurant. Like, I get he's sort of disappointed about that, but, there's nothing wrong with going to a restaurant that you enjoy. Alright, well, I guess it was inevitable that they have to talk about politics and the student council election and all that. It's interesting that there's no formal polling, but that, they have to use applause as a gauge. It's unfortunate that the possibility of Alia standing up on stage to no applause is out there. That's probably your worst nightmare. Although I feel like this is a cheeky little setup for something like that to occur. I can sort of see it now. Something like that happens and then either Kuze surreptitiously or Yuki in the audience or somebody starts clapping and then everybody claps or something like that. Ooh, that's underhanded of Kuze, saying, hey, let's give our speeches first because whoever goes first always gets moderate applause, so that way we have an excuse if we get blown out later. I mean, that's kind of cowardly, Alia's trying to go for this, and sure, losing would suck, but hampering yourselves to begin with would suck too. So is this it? This is for the birthday. This isn't much of a birthday party. I figured they would, do something more in the way of a traditional birthday party. But I guess not. This really is a wasted opportunity for Alia to have thrown a traditional birthday party with, cake and all that. But, man. So now I guess we have to talk about the rumors, too. It's interesting that Taniyama's friend sort of torpedoed herself to put a stop to other rumors, which, that's a laudable thing to do, but, man, you couldn't think of another way to do it? So that sort of encapsulates things neatly. Alia says, I didn't really contribute. And, that's kind of true of the whole show, really. I wish she would contribute a little bit more. Because, now she's not even doing the Russian bit, she's just speaking honestly, which is a nice refreshing change, to be sure. However, at least stick with the bit, Yeah, I'm kind of stuck on it. I do think this is a huge wasted opportunity in that she could have taken some initiative to, plan a party. At least she's not fazed by all the usual stuff right now, and she's taking the opportunity to tease Kuze. I feel like he does need to be taken down a peg considering everything that's happened lately. Alright, at least Alia had the decency to buy him a present and wrap it and all that in accordance with her traditions. Oh, that's nice, actually. A nice little tea mug. I was gonna say, what is it? It's probably something, sentimental to her, but otherwise meaningless. But, a tea mug is good. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. Alia bought 2 mugs that form a pair. Interesting. Oh, okay. No, she's just teasing him again. Ugh. It would be nice if she did that, but it seems like it might not be the case. Man, why is this show only doing cool things as a joke and just not doing them? Uh-oh. Imagine somebody telling a maid to just sit down and relax and not do work. Whoa, buddy. You know, I would have thought there would be an outburst or something, but she's just sitting down and taking it. So I guess now that summer uniform issue is coming up again, which, you know, it seems like this is a really small thing to be focusing screen time on. Just, you know, the prospect of the school getting short-sleeved uniforms. It's like, come on. Like, is this really the most important thing we could be talking about? Like, surely a student could just roll up their sleeves, right? Oh, so that's something. Masha might be bothered by the hypnosis, which, to be fair, I think you should be kind of bothered about that considering what had happened. However, I think the blame would probably fall with Yuki. I believe she was the one who sort of instigated that. The hypnosis writ large, but also the monkey business that went on. But at the same time, I don't get the feeling that Masha is vengeful or the type to hold a grudge or anything like that. Oh, did she start it? Maybe she did actually. I think she did bring the book. Oh man, it's never good to ask questions about hypnosis and what you did. Like, there's no good answer, especially in this situation. Well, I guess he's starting with the tame stuff, which is, you know, not bad, but he's certainly neglecting to mention some other stuff that happened. Oh, man, at least she knows that he's sort of lying a little bit. It's interesting that it took this much to get Masha mad. You know, the fact that she was hypnotized and did all sorts of stuff. I guess she's also clever enough to know that he's probably not actually sorry. Man, you know, she is sort of ditzy, but I don't know. Like, she's got it right on the money this time, you know? It really does make me wonder how much of that ditziness is a front. I'd be willing to believe she's a lot more intelligent and competent than she would like to suggest, which is a rather cunning way to go through life. Now, you know what? This is a pretty neat encapsulation of the episode. Finally, Yuki shows up to get some screen time and Kuze is just trying to leave. As much as I hate to say it, the side character really has been the best character this entire show. I was kind of lukewarm on her initially, but boy, like, she improved and everyone else declined. You know, honestly, in Kuze's position, I'd just get it over with and appease her. You know, if you have stuff to do and you have to go, like, you might as well just go along with it and get it over with quickly. Wow, You know, one would have thought she would have gone along for something like that, but man, you never can tell with her. So, if this is Kuze's grandfather, this must be the other one. You know, the paternal grandfather rather than the maternal grandfather. You know, or vice versa. It's interesting that he's wearing a suit and sunglasses, you know. Kuze has the pretty astute understanding that he's trying to emulate like a gangster film, which, you know, that's probably not a bad guess, but sometimes you can just wear a nice suit. So it's interesting that the grandfather is sort of taking a parental role of, you know, going to school functions and meeting teachers and all that. And I guess interestingly, they also get to meet, oh no. Whoops. Man, imagine having to apologize for your grandfather for being obsessed with Russian culture. Woo, buddy. And I guess we're also meeting Alia's mom, who might shed a bit more light on the situation. I was gonna say, it's interesting that she has dark hair where Alia has silver hair, but, you know, judging by her name, she would be natively Japanese. Although that said, like all mothers, she can't help but embarrass her daughter. Oh, here we go. Way to go, Gramps. You know, I get the feeling that Yuki, rather, is more directly related to the grandfather than Kuze is. You know, they have the same sort of energy about them. Man, everybody's getting in on the action except Alia and Kuze, the two who should ostensibly be getting in on the action. Man, you know, maybe I'm just getting old and losing my taste for romantic comedy stuff like this. Oh. Oh dear. So it seems like now things are getting serious with Kuze reuniting with his mom under less than desirable circumstances. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. See you, Space Cowboy.